Good morning and welcome to our channel of Great Education. I am Lalit and today I am going to teach you a very important topic, non-finite verbs. Yes, this topic is really interesting and very important for every competitive examination and so many questions are being asked from this topic. However, it's very frustrating and confusing for the new learners because they don't know when to use a gerund or an infinitive or a participle in a sentence. Several times they don't know when to add an ing at the end or ed or anything. So, if you want to understand all these things, you must be attentive to this lecture. Hereupon, to make you understand about the whole topic, we will create videos in four parts. This is the first part, which will cover only the basic overview on non-finite verbs. Well, do you know actually what is non-finite verb? Non-finite verb. In general view, finite means limited. And if we say non-finite, it means not limited. We say finite means limited. Finite means limited. On the other hand, non-finite means not limited. Non-finite means not limited. In this sense, we can say that a non-finite verb is not limited by a subject or tense of the sentence. So, verbs which cannot be changed according to the subject and the tense of the sentence are called as non-finite verbs. Be changed according to the subject and the tense of the sentence are called as non-finite verbs. Here are some examples. We say, we want to speak English. He wants to speak English. You wanted to speak English. Here are three examples of sentences. So, in this sentence, in the first sentence we can say want. Want because of the plural verb and present indefinite tense. Wants in the second sentence, wants according to the subject singular number. He wants. So, the form of want has been changed according to the subject. Wanted in the third sentence according to the past indefinite tense. The form of want has been changed in the second form of the we can say wanted is the second form of the verb want. So according to the tense, the verb form has been changed. So these want, wants, wanted, want, wants, wanted, these are finite verbs because they are changing according to the subject and tense of the sentence. However, there are another verb like to speak, again to speak, and again to speak. In all the three sentences we see to speak has not changed its form. So to speak according to subject it's not changed. To speak has not changed according to the subject. Doesn't matter whether the subject is plural, singular or any tense. The verb to speak has not changed. It has not changed its form. So it's still in the first form, and having to before the verb speak. In each sentence we can see uh, to speak. So to speak has not changed its form in any of the sentences. So we can say to speak is non-finite verb. However, one thing you should fix in your mind, that a verb acting as a non-finite verb in a sentence can also act as a finite verb in other sentences. For example, here we see to speak is a non-finite verb. We can use this verb in other sentence as a finite verb. We can say he speaks English, I can speak English, you spoke English. This way we can use the same verb as a finite verb in other sentences. However, in these three sentences, to speak is non-finite verb. The non-finite verbs are basically three types. Non-finite verbs are gerunds, infinitives, and participles. Well, now let's learn about gerund. Students, I hope you all are aware of the basic structure of the sentence, that is subject plus verb plus object or complement. I have written this structure because I want you to understand that a gerund can be a subject or an object or complement. A gerund is a special kind of noun that looks like a verb with ing form, but it is not really a verb because it has no helping verb. If we say the verb read, if we say the verb read, then the gerund will be reading. If we say the verb eat, then gerund will be eating. But you must remember it should work like a noun. For example, we can say school helps us learn. School is a subject here. The same way we can say reading helps us learn. Here reading is the subject and working as a noun, so reading is the gerund. Again, if I say not reading hurts my vocabulary, so not reading is a negative gerund here because not reading is still working as a noun. One more thing you should remember, working as a noun, a gerund is third person singular number, and so it agrees with singular verb, means verb with ACS form. Once again, to remind you everything about gerund, here we can say a gerund ends in ing. A gerund is a noun. A gerund might be affirmative or negative. A gerund is a third person singular number, and so a gerund takes a singular verb. Well, now let's have some basic understanding about infinitives. Infinitive is the base verb form. Usually an infinitive comes with to before it. However, several times it also comes without to. That time the infinitive in V1 form is called as bare infinitive. It means infinitive without to is also called as bare infinitive. Infinitives can act as a noun, adjective, or an adverb. As a noun, an infinitive can work as a subject or object or a complement. Well, here we have taken some examples of sentences so that we can make you understand about infinitives. To give advice is easy. To follow this advice may be difficult. To drive very fast here is not advisable. So here infinitives are to give, to follow, and to drive. These are infinitives working as subjects. Well, now let us take some examples of infinitives as objects. Here are sentences. I want to go. I want to meet her. Here, in the first sentence, I want to go. To go is infinitive and it is placed at object position. Here, in the first sentence, to go is infinitive. Well, now let's have some basic overview on participle. A participle works as an adjective. It has three types: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. A participle is an adjective form of a verb. It usually ends in ing, ed, or et, or sometimes even in t. It is usually placed before a noun or pronoun to describe it. Hence, it's also called as a verbal adjective. We can add ing in the present form and we can add ed or en or t in past form. Well, now let's have some examples. I saw Sita writing a letter. I saw Sita writing a letter. Here the word writing is describing the noun Sita. So acting as an adjective in present form, writing is a present participle. Well, let's have some other sentences over here. I found the letter written by Sita yesterday. Here, the word written describes the noun letter. So, acting as an adjective in present form, writing is a present participle. Let's have some other sentences over here. I found the letter written by Sita yesterday. Here, the word written describes the noun letter. So, acting as an adjective in past form, written is a past participle. Well, let's have a look at another sentence over here. Having written the letter, Sita went to post it. Having written the letter, Sita went to post it. Here again, having written. So, look at the words having written. These words are describing the noun letter. And so, having written, acting as an adjective in perfect form, having written is a perfect participle. Now, let's move to another sentence. The letter having been written, it was quickly sent to post. The letter having been written. Here, having been written, look at these words. Having been written, these words are describing the noun letter. Look at these words. Having been written is describing the noun letter. And so, acting as an adjective, having been written is perfect participle in passive voice. It's in passive voice. Participle is in passive voice. Okay. Now take a look at this sentence. A letter being written by Sita was torn by Ravan. A letter being written by Sita was torn by Ravan. Here, being written is in passive voice and perfect participle. The perfect participle is in passive voice structure. So, it is describing the noun letter. It is describing the noun letter. And so, acting as an adjective, being written is perfect participle in passive voice. Now I hope you have the basic overview on different forms of the non-finite verbs. Well, we will bring some more videos to make you learn the rules how we use the different non-finite verbs in sentences. You must subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications soon after uploading such videos. If you have any query, do comment and keep learning. Have a nice day and goodbye.